Hello, I'm Michael Losier, and welcome to the Law of Attraction Facilitator Spotlight Series. I'm going to be featuring certified Law of Attraction facilitators that have taken my program based on my book, Law of Attraction and Law of Connection. Now, these folks are using this material to add to their existing business or run their business, and they are doing so well that I wanted to kind of catch up with them after they've taken the certification program. Today's interview is with Marlene Keys. She's from Ottawa, Ontario, and we're going to hear about how becoming a certified Law of Attraction facilitator has changed her business and her life, and what she's been doing since she's taken the program. So stay tuned. Hello, Marlene. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. It's great to be here.
I'm so glad that you're doing such a good job being a Law of Attraction facilitator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. So I'm really glad to have you. You're the first person I'm interviewing as part of the Facilitator Spotlight Series, and I chose you because you have a really active Law of Attraction business, and you know that was part of the intention of offering the certification program for people that want to complement their existing business or people that want to take it and make it into a business like I am, and I would consider you a success story. So I want to give people an opportunity to learn more about you and kind of show off what a great job I'm doing on the program, and you're evidence of that.
Happy to be part of it.
Oh, thank you. So we're both Canadian, and I released my book in 2003 here in Canada, a couple years before the United States and the other countries. So I'm curious to know how you first learned about me. What was your path to connect to me in the book Law of Attraction?
Sure. Well, you actually came to speak in Ottawa probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but you had a large group of people turn out for your presentation. Now, I wasn't in the audience for that presentation, but a very good friend of mine was. She loved it. She loved your talk. She loved your book. So she knew I was interested in the Law of Attraction. So after she heard you, she came back and she said, Marlene, you got to read this.
Oh, great.
So I read it, and the rest is history.
Oh, great. I remember that seminar. It was a big deal. It was through Judy Whitlock.
That's right.
Yeah, she's another certified facilitator. Good. Okay. So before you had heard about my book, had you been doing presentations or seminars on the subject or coaching or? No,
I hadn't. I've been a student myself. I had loved the Law of Attraction. I was interested in it. I was reading about it. I was learning about it, but I hadn't turned it into a business at that point.
Okay. So what stimulated you? Like what made you say, hey, I think I want to teach this? Do you remember what that moment was?
I totally remember that moment. It would just seem like it was the next logical progression in my career, Michael, because I'm a dietitian by training, and I have an MBA, so I have this background that is a combination of sort of health and wellness, but I have a keen business sense, and I always knew I wanted to have my own business, but I wasn't really sure how that was going to all unfold. Yeah. So when I learned about the Law of Attraction, that was the moment, Mike, when I said, this is it. This is the information that I'm passionate about, that I want to share with the rest of the world. Yeah. So the minute I made that decision, well, then, of course, your training found me, and I signed up.
Yeah, well, what I like about you're a great example how somebody can take what they're already existing and good at and they're passionate about, which is your healthcare, and marrying it up with the Law of Attraction training, and you've merged the two, and you've created some programs and series about that.
Yes, exactly.
So my hunch is you're using Law of Attraction both in your personal life and in your business life. So tell me how you've been using Law of Attraction in your business.
Well, it's a great question, Michael, because you and I both know that the business that I have today is a result of how I've been thinking or feeling about my business. So I use it all the time. Yeah. In fact, I knew before I created my business, I started to think about what it was exactly that I wanted. So I knew I wanted to teach the Law of Attraction to others because I was so passionate about it. I knew I wanted to have a business that allowed me the flexibility to work from home. I knew I wanted a business that allowed me to choose the people that I want to work with. I don't know, Michael, you probably had this experience. When I was working corporately before, people would tell me, Marlene, you have to work with that team. I want you to manage that team. And I would say, but I prefer to work with that team over there. Now I can do that. Now I choose the people I want to partner with. I choose the people that I have suppliers that are fantastic. And I also choose my clients. And what's beautiful is I use the Law of Attraction to think about the ideal clients that I want to attract. And they just keep getting better and better.
And that clarity becomes your yardstick. It's like, if somebody approaches, and me too, if somebody approaches me to do a seminar somewhere, I will know whether it's a match or not. And I only do matches. And it's okay to say no if it's not a match. So
I feel good, I don't do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Feels so good.
So what I'd like to do is kind of introduce people to how you've taken the Law of Attraction training and stimulated you to come up with a new product or a new service. And I understand you have some webinars that are marrying healthcare and Law of Attraction together. And I'd like to hear more about that.
About the webinar, okay. Well, I want you to know, Michael, that I still do one-on-one consultation with clients because I love that. There's nothing better than being able to go deep with someone to make sure they completely understand the law of attraction and to go into issues that are really important to them. So I do the one-on-one. But I recently got into the webinar world with the law of attraction, and what I love about that is it allows me access to people internationally. I have people from Europe, people from the U.S. buying my webinars. But the webinar that I'm most excited about is called Mindful Weight Control.
Yeah, I just want to introduce what a webinar is. So that is a class taught over the internet, and you're using your computer to show information and so on. So it's a sit-at-home kind of in your pajamas kind of training program.
Perfect. And and people can also, they can view the slides, they can hear me speak, they can use it on their iPod if they want to take it mobily.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's fantastic.
Yes.
It's fantastic. Good. So can I tell you more about the Mindful Weight Control program?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'd like to know about that.
So, you know what, schooled as a registered dietitian and then also being a certified Law of Attraction facilitator, I know intimately that when people are trying to lose weight, if they're focusing only on what they're eating or how much they're exercising, but they're not at all thinking about how they're feeling or how they're thinking or what vibration they're offering about their body, they're missing, as you know, one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. So what I've done is I've developed the Mindful Weight Control program, which not only helps people understand the leading edge techniques they can take in terms of what they're eating, but also introduce to them and make them realize that what the words they use, the thoughts they think, the vibrations they're offering are so important, and that the law of attraction can actually help rather than hinder their successful weight loss.
Nice. I'll just give you a quick little example because I'm always in the process of learning more about how to eat differently and looking after my own body. But I remember one time I wanted to change some habits, and I said, I don't want to change 25 things this week. I'd like to change one thing and implement it, and change another thing and implement it. So I'm at some store somewhere or in a mall, and I walk by and I see these a kitchen store, and in the something caught my attention in the window, and they were showing these square plates. Sometimes they're quite Asian style, and the little sign above it said, "It's time to reduce your plate size." And I thought, is that the answer to my question that I asked? And I said, what does that mean? What do they mean by that? And I thought, well, that makes sense. If I had a smaller plate, because to me, it's I have to fill my plate and have to eat everything on the plate. And so that's an exercise for me, which is to be very mindful about what I'm eating. So I come home, I bought all new square plates, and I got rid of the big plates. And when I compare the two, I'm embarrassed to see the plate size. And even when I'm I took a cruise last year, and they used big oval platters, and everybody says, I need to fill the oval platter. And they were, and that's why people put on so much weight on a cruise ship. So I would use the little saucer that you would put bread on, like a side plate. That's what I would, and I would go up twice, but it still wasn't as much as the big platter. My purpose in telling you that is just what you're talking about. I set the intention. I wanted to learn some stuff, and I walked by a store. It had a plate. It had a sign. It was like it was an answer that was matching my vibration. So
yes, when you have your mindset in sync with what you want, then the weight loss becomes so much more inspired and so much easier. And I think, Michael, that a lot of us spend a lot of time thinking about what we should or should not be eating, or how much we should or should not be exercising. It's so action-oriented without thinking about lining up our vibration first. And that's what we try to teach people in this program, is that you have to think about both sides of the equation.
Now, is it homework style classes that you're giving, or giving people things to do in between each class? Or tell me how you. I mean, some people don't know how you can teach over the phone. So it's more than one phone call, right? It's a series.
Yes, there's 6 hours of content.
Okay.
Right, and they can listen to that at any time, at any place that they want. So it's very convenient for them. Yeah. And absolutely, there is, items that they can do following each session that they listen to. We give them homework. I prefer to call it play work because it should be nice and light and fun. Things that are actionable that they do each time after they've listened to one of the webinar series. So 6 hours of content. The other beauty about the webinar is if they feel like there's a question that they haven't gotten answered, they have access to me anyway. We're always available for follow-up consultation with questions that they may have.
Yeah, well, I built my very successful business on giving teleclasses, and I was really impressed with first how people could really learn over the telephone. I mean, that takes a skill set. You and I both have training on how to deliver content over the phone and make it interesting, and people are actually participating and taking notes. But I learned how easy it was to teach over the telephone. Give instructions and make sure people come with pen and paper. And then when I started to do multiple series, like, the 4-week series and the 5-week series, I learned people were really committed to do the homework in between. So it'll be interesting to hear your students come back week after week and kind of report in on that status. And I like to do that. My particular style, I like to report in what I did. Some people don't need that. I do. I like to say, here's what I did last week, and here's what I'm going to do this week, and so on. And I like to hear what other people are doing, when I hear other people's success stories. So my hunch is it's going to be a really awesome experience for other people. Can you tell us, well, first, congratulations on putting that together, because a couple of years ago, or before you did the training, you were, doing nutritional one-on-one, and now you can reach more people in a shorter period of time. And the goal is freedom, and freedom means not having to work 8 hours a day and on the weekends and kind of concentrating it. We don't really call it work, though.
Aren't we lucky to be able to do something that we enjoy?
So tell me something that your clients are complimenting you on about your teaching style, about law of attraction, or how you explain it. What are they saying about that? Because that's what we're famous for, right? Is that we can explain law of attraction, so people really get it. So what are people telling you?
I'm so fortunate. The feedback has really been extraordinary, Michael. If I do a keynote 1-hour presentation, I inevitably get people who say, don't stop talking, give me more. Or I also get people, after I've spoken to them in a group setting, I get people who want to work one-on-one with me, or I get people who want to sign up for a webinar. So the feedback has been fantastic. But I think for me, the best part of it, Michael, is to have a client who gets it and the weight starts to come off. Or a client who gets it and the relationships they're in start to turn. Or a client who gets it and the job seems to fall into their lap. When you start to see that movement, that's the greatest compliment that I can get. And it's happening. And it's just, as we said, I don't call it work. It's just, it's great. Really great.
Yeah. The other nice thing about the webinar process, if you did that as a full-day seminar, it wouldn't be as impactful as a 6-week process, because it is a process. It isn't something that you go and learn, you take it home. It's like, you know what, this week, here's your play work. Here's your assignment. Let's go back. Here's another one. So I like that.
And the beauty of the webinar is that you can listen to it over and over and over and over again, right? Once you purchased it, it's yours. And when we're talking about changing beliefs, when we're talking about changing habits, repetition is key.
Yes.
So that's another benefit of the webinar.
Tell me how people can kind of check up on you, maybe your fan page, your website, whatever you want to, so people can check out this mindful weight control program.
Sure, thank you. My website is keys2lawofattraction.com. Right, and on that website, they'll be able to follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. I would love to have your viewers be part of the community that I have there.
Nice. Got
a bunch of great people there. We're talking, and the dialogue is fantastic. You can also follow me on Twitter.
Sure.
Again, I would love that as well.
Okay, great. And you're in Ottawa, Ontario. Now, if somebody in your region, what would you call your region? Where would you be willing to kind of travel to do a law of attraction seminar?
Well, you know what? I would travel anywhere, Michael. I would travel anywhere. My boundaries are limitless, and that's what's the beauty about the webinar, right? Yeah. There's no boundary.
Well, good, Marlene. When I asked you to join me today, we're both very excited, and I'm very generous with my time and my resources, and I've asked you to do the same thing. So I've asked to see if you could give something away to people just so they can have a flavor of you. I know your energy. I like your style. I like your work. And, it's a great way for people to kind of check you out a little bit. So what have you brought us today to offer to the people watching?
Great. I have three things for free that I'd like to give to your viewers, Michael. And they can access these 3 things by going to keysforfree.com.
Keysforfree.com. Good.
right?
Okay.
The first is an ebook, Michael. It's a very short ebook. It's called Change Your Words, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Body, The Missing Keys to Successful Weight Loss.
Okay, I like that.
And it's a very short book, but it'll help people to get a flavor for how they can use the law of attraction to change their body. And there's things in there that can be actioned right away. So that's a free ebook for your members.
Good.
The second thing I'd like to give away to them is a free link to a recording that will help them to understand a little bit more about what the Mindful Weight Control program is all about. So if they want a little more detail on what's the nutrition aspect of it, great, they can get it there. If they want some more information on how the law of attraction applies to weight loss, they can get that there. So that's the second thing.
That's helpful. Yep.
The last and third thing, Michael, is a free subscription to my weekly e-zine so that I can deliver to them content about how to keep the law of attraction active in their lives.
Yes. You know,
so that's a Keys for Free.
Keys for Free.
Yes.
Well, this was fun, and congratulations on your success. I chose you because of how active you are in law of attraction, and you're doing such a great job. And, you know, I've been using law of attraction probably in the last few years to attract the things that I need to have a healthier, slender body. And, you know, the square plate in the window is just one of the many things that came to me from doing that. So it's a combination of mindful eating and a combination of law of attraction. And I'm excited that you've got a program to give that some structure and to teach people.
Thank you, Michael. And I want to also say to the people who are watching this, if they're considering doing your training program, I would highly recommend it. You know, I trained with you, Michael, back in 2008. And so it's been a while, but still I get from you monthly conference calls where I'm allowed to talk with you and my fellow trainers because we have questions. We're building a business.
Yeah.
And not to mention just those calls, but if I have questions in between, you know what? I know where to find you, and you're always available to me to help me. And I really sense your desire to help me grow my business, and it's working, and I'm very appreciative.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Marlene Keys from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.